Hi there, my name is Darren Seafried. I'm Director of Sales with Motorola Mobility Canada, and I'm here today to show you our new RAZR product. This is the next generation device that we just launched here, announced it in October in New York City, and it's going to be exclusive on the Rogers network here in Canada. Now the RAZR, there's a couple things about the RAZR that I'll just talk about quickly. It's impossibly thin, it's impossibly powerful, and you're always connected. And those are the three key bullets about the device. I'm just going to kind of walk you through what that means. So from a thin perspective, we actually devised the device. If you look at there, I don't know if the camera can catch it. You might want to put, yeah, there we go. I don't know if that looks a little better. You can see that the device is extremely thin. This is actually 7.1 millimeters thick. Now, what's really unique about this is in order to build a smartphone that's this thin, we had to re-engineer and rethink about how do we build a device. And part of that was how do we make something so thin, so much glass, and actually still give it the rigidity that you need to make sure that it's life-proof. So the first thing is this actually has a stainless steel core, like a stainless steel skeleton, that actually is what holds the core strength together. And then sandwiching in between that actual skeleton, you've got on the back side Kevlar. So Kevlar is not only cool, because it is kind of cool. The other thing about Kevlar is it's extremely rigid, very strong. It gives you the most strength we could with also maximizing the weight. So it's a very light device.
And it's good for the radios. Right?
It's good for RF. Additionally, that was the other point. It's very good from an RF perspective. So it's, again, Motorola thinking outside the box about how do we do it. And our company's a very strong engineering background company. We kind of lead the industry in those kind of things. So that's one of the thinking thoughts that went through it. And then if you go to the front, what we also wanted to do is make sure that, again, adding to that strength and rigidity, we worked with Corning and have Corning Gorilla Glass on the front. And then what that allows us to do is have a nice tough glass, but also that's scratch resistant. So therefore, your everyday use, throwing into your wallet, throwing into your pocket, throwing into your purse, it's going to be I call it life-proof. And then finally, we coated the whole device with a special product, and I can't remember the exact name of it, and I apologize for that. Maybe we can get that for you for later. But it's called Splash Guard. And what it allows us to do is it's encoded the actual exterior and the interior of the device in the event that if you accidentally have those day-to-day spills on the device, you're not going to worry about actually having your device stop working. So that was on the first part about making it thin and making it durable. The second thing was impossibly powerful. This device uses the next generation Super AMOLED display. It's a 4.3-inch display. It actually has about 26% more pixels than the average display out there, or the average AMOLED out there today. Then additionally, we packed it with a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, 1 gigabyte of memory, and it's actually coupled with a 16 gigabyte internal storage memory, which you can add, with upgradable memory, 32 gig cards, and so forth. So it's a very powerful device on top of being super thin. And then finally, the always connected aspect. And Motorola's worked very diligently trying to create solutions to make consumers' lives easier. And one of those things we've actually launched with a product called MotoCast. And this will be our first device to launch with it in Canada.
So does this replace MotoBlur?
MotoBlur is not in the device today.
Okay.
We still have we still have solutions running to actually manage the amount of data flow for those social media aspects, those social contents like Facebook and LinkedIn. But MotoBlur is not really something that we're working with on the back end of these devices today. MotoCast is, as the world is kind of evolving to cloud-based computing, so we know a lot of people are all focused on clouds and Amazon and all that kind of fun stuff. What Motorola has done is we analyze what consumers are really looking for. And in that research, we found that there's three key things that customers have some anxiety about when it relates to cloud. One is my content, putting their content up into a space that they don't own. Some fear of, where it's going to end up. And even from that perspective, enterprise or businesses have that same fear, knowing that where that content is not residing in their own house or in their office. So that was one fear. The second was, how do I get at that content? How do I sync it? There's extra steps involved. And so the complexity of actually syncing to a cloud and then having that sync go down to your device was also one of those challenges that, real or not real, it's still out there. And it's perceived that there's a lot of steps in between that. So that puts some anxiety on it. And then the third component would be that there's always going to be a fear of a cost, because when you actually start using external storages, there's going to be some form of cost down the road, right? Data cost, or even the cost of storage, because there's a lot of stuff is free for small amount of content, but when you start getting to larger amount of content, and as the cloud-based solution starts evolving, people will need more.
Right.
So what Motocast does is it creates a personal cloud solution utilizing your own assets. So you have your own PC, your home PC, you have your work PC already. What Motocast does is the device, it pairs to your computer or pairs to your work computer or pairs to multiple computers for that matter using a Motorola ID. And once the two devices are actually paired, it allows you to access that content from wherever you are, either over the Rogers wireless network or over your Wi-Fi network. So it creates a cloud back into your own system. Now the beauty behind it is, on top of that same solution, is there's nothing for a customer to do that's different. Once you actually pair the devices, you continue about your day. If you use Windows Media Player for your music or iTunes, nothing changes. We're not asking consumers to change their behaviors. Yeah. Just continue doing everything the way you do it, and the device will actually tunnel back into your device and actually have access to all that content. And now the cool part is it's integrated into the device. I don't know if you can see the device on here, but I'll give you an example of the gallery, for example. So if we go into the gallery, and we go down here, it says Motocast. If I click on that, this is now actually populating what's on my computer at home at my house. And I have a Mac computer that's running this right now. So if I go into, say, digital photos, it actually will populate different photos that are on my PCs and on my devices. And you can see I can just open it up, and quickly you have a picture, right? So the device actually just will bring anything to front. So you can see, and if you go to the rotation here, and that stuff is actually streaming directly off of my PC. So it's not residing on my device.
What do you have to install on your home PC?
When you actually plug in the device actually will prompt you to take an executable file right off the device. It'll preload it on either a Mac or a PC, and that's all you do. It's basically a pairing software. And once it's paired, and this is another unique thing about Motocast, once the actual thing is paired, those devices also can talk. So now I can actually utilize my work computer and actually go back into my home PC. So you actually create an ecosystem where everything's talking, and it really gets down to that point, always connected. And that's what Motorola was trying to drive. So as you can see, Motocast has got a lot of power that takes your phone, your RAZR, and now allows it to truly be an extension. And you don't ever have to worry about, for example, I don't know if you have kids. I have 2 young kids. I don't know how many times I go out and someone says to me, hey, do you have any new pictures of your child? And quite often we don't. We have some great pictures. Yeah. We've loaded our PC, but when did we sync last? Now I always have that content. Or, also from a work perspective, if I'm out on a business call, or maybe I'm doing something in some environment where I want to show something, maybe a PowerPoint that I forgot back at my office, no more do I have to worry about did I sync it or not. I actually can just pull it up on the device. This actually has Quick Office in it, so now I can actually view it, prompt it. And with this device, with the HD output and some of the other connectivity solutions, I can put it right into a big screen television. So this device also supports our next generation web top. When you actually add that to Motocast, the solution is extremely robust.